Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This is Beat Sihr Sister A. I just want to talk about the correct outlook that we should have when we're dealing with sihr. This is really important because if you have the incorrect aqidah, if your belief system is wrong, or if you're dealing with it in the wrong way, not according to the Quran and not according to the Sunnah, or if you are innovating, or if your iman is weak, not only can you make the problem worse, you may not get a cure. But all is in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and inshallah I pray that He guides us all. Inshallah I pray that He accepts this work from me, and He forgives me if I make any mistakes. Those mistakes are from me, and whatever benefit is from this, it is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah. The first thing I would like to mention is iman. If your iman is strong, if we are believers in Islam, then we believe that the cure is from Allah, and whatever steps that we take, it is only the matters that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prescribed for us through the Quran and the Sunnah. Anything other than that was not verified by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and is innovation, and often that can make sihr worse. We have to have firm belief in what we are doing. When we go to see Iraqi, when we go to make the ruqya water, and when we drink the ruqya water, we have to have firm belief that this is going to help me. Not just this is going to help me, but that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to cure me through this. For the cure comes from Allah. This is the challenge. This is the challenge of sihr. That is not like other illnesses. So for example, if you have an illness and you take paracetamol, we may say that we have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and He will cure us. Sometimes we don't even think this way. We have faith in the paracetamol, that the paracetamol will take away our pain. But how do we feel when we are suffering from sihr? Do we really think that when we recite the Quran verses and we hardly know their meaning, and we are not practicing according to the Sunnah, and we are just doing what somebody told us, do we really think that we might be cured this way? No, we have to be careful. We have to be careful of the sources that we get this information from. We have to be careful whether this is according to the Sunnah. What is the correct state of mind? The correct state of mind is knowing Allah, is knowing His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is knowing His names and attributes, and is knowing that He can cure you. Why do I say the names and attributes? The names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is part of our belief. We have to know Him. If we know Him, then we know what He will be like with us through this situation. So for example, if I know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the all-seeing and He is the all-hearing, then I know that through my situation, I am not alone, and that He can see what is happening, and He is the most just. And if I believe in His justice, if I truly believe in His justice, I know that whatever the shayateen are doing to me on the day of Qiyamah, they will be punished, and inshallah I will be rewarded. And this takes away some of the pain of the situation as well. What we also have to question is, if I believe Allah will cure me, then why am I going through these steps? So why am I making the ruqya water? Why do I go to see Iraqi? What's the point? What is the point of me doing all of these things if Allah can just cure me? Well, in Islam, we are told to put our trust in Allah, but we have to go through the actions. So we have to do the best that we can and then put our trust in Allah. And this comes from the hadith where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one day he noticed a Bedouin who left his camel without tying it. So he left it without tying it so it could go. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Why didn't you tie down your camel?" And the Bedouin said, "I put my trust in Allah." And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Tie your camel first and then put your trust in Allah." So through this hadith, we can see that we should take the means and then put our trust in Allah. So we do the best that we can. We may feel like that the cure from Allah, why hasn't it come yet? We may feel like, I've been suffering from sihr for a long time. Why am I not yet cured? Why is this not working? Is this working? So again, we come back to the issue of iman. Do we have enough iman in what we are doing? Do we really believe that the cure is from Allah when we are drinking this water? Also, do we really understand the concept of qadr? Do you really understand that when it is written for me to be cured, inshallah, we will be cured. Until that time, See this as a chance to gain reward. So we continue on in the right way. Inshallah, this will grant us status in Jannah. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's way of building up our status in Jannah, inshallah. We don't get Jannah easy. We have to suffer in this life. So do we want the akhirah or do we want the dunya? If we want the dunya, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grants even the disbelievers a comfortable life in the dunya. But what we're concerned with is the akhirah. And the only way we'll get the akhirah is if we go through these trials patiently, if we follow the sunnah, if we continue to make dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves it when we humble ourselves and we're making dua to Him and we are trying our best and we are asking from Him and Him alone. So the other methodology in sihr that can be wrong is the use of ta'weez. Now, ta'weez is shirk if it contains characters such as names of saints, it contains characters of names of jinn. Sometimes it has satanic names, name of Iblis, name of all these other people, and spells and incantations. And sometimes they say, it's just Quran, but even in some of the ta'weez, even when it says Quran, they've written it A'udhu Billah in period blood. How do you even know what they've written it in? Sometimes they write some of the letters and then in the verse they've written something else, so it no longer has that verse of Quran. Sometimes they write it backwards. They can write it scribbled disrespectfully. If you think about it, why don't you just print off verses of Quran if we were allowed to do that? But we're not allowed to do that. There's something you have to pay. This is something you have to pay for, and it's shirk. And there are many hadiths which I have uploaded on the website that state that this is shirk. It's also bid'ah, to make matters worse, because the Sahabi, the Prophet ﷺ, he never wore a ta'weez. He always put his trust in Allah, and that alone should be enough for us to stay away from doing something like this. If the Prophet ﷺ did not do something, we don't need to do it. Also, when we go to Iraqi, what should our mentality be like? So a lot of people, they talk about Raqis and, they may say, this Raqi was really good because he cured this many people, or this Raqi, he's not so good because I went to him and I have not been cured. I'm going to many Raqis and I'm not getting cured. What's happening? So I just want to mention here that, again, this is qadr. It's not the Raqi that is going to cure you. When you go to Iraqi, you see it as I'm going to take a step, inshallah, for a cure, and this person is reciting Quran on you. So initially it is the Quran, even the words of Allah, that will be the cure, not that this person is curing you. The Raqis are experienced people, so they know how to deal with the shayateen. They know if it's sihr, if it's evil eye, if it's just possession, what type of sihr it may be. So in that way they can help you, but majority of it is, again, your tawakkul of Allah, is the steps that you take when you come back home. Now, any Raqi who is really honest with you will tell you that the best ruqya is the ruqya that you do yourself, because then you yourself are building your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are turning to Allah and you are asking Him for the cure. The biggest thing that I would say in your outlook on sihr should be tawheed. It should be tawheed. It should be free from shirk. It should be free from bid'ah. You should be using methodology that is from the Quran and the Sunnah. So you need to do your homework. You need to do your homework from trusted sources. We have books. We have talks. I have uploaded them on the website as well. If you have any questions, you can ask us, inshallah, by text, by email. If you're unclear, if you're not sure about a person that you've gone to see. My rule of thumb would be that if you feel suspicious about somebody, there's no need to continue seeing that Raqi. If you feel that something they're doing you're not 100% sure with, it's better to just continue on your own, inshallah, doing dua, doing dhikr, than to see somebody, because essentially we don't even really need a Raqi. So it doesn't matter. It's better to be safe than to be sorry. I have put up the signs as well, inshallah, of how to spot a magician or how to spot somebody who is not authentic. So there are some telltale signs to protect yourself. Look at your Aqidah. Do I know enough about Islam? Do you know enough about Allah? Do you know enough about the Sunnah way of protecting yourself? Are you following the Sunnah? One of the beauty of this trial, for in every trial there's goodness, and one of the beauty of this trial is that we can see firsthand what happens to people, what happens to the shayateen when we recite Quran upon them. For truly, when shayateen comes out into a person, they cannot even recite Quran. They cannot even recite a qul, which we can read with ease. We can listen to it with ease, and it causes them so much pain. They will scream and tell you to stop. And that is the power of Allah, and we can see it with our very own eyes. And for those of us who have suffered possession, you feel it in your own body. You can feel the power of Allah and the Sunnah. Just using a miswak and reciting on a person who's possessed, and they will experience such pain. For them, piety causes them pain, and for us, it enriches our soul. It brings us closer to Allah, and Allah has given us hearts that can take Quran when mountains can crumble from listening to the Quran, as is mentioned in the Quran. And this is something that we shouldn't take for granted. We should learn from this situation, inshallah. Ask Allah to guide us closer to Him through this experience, and to really follow the Sunnah and all these small things that we were told that we once didn't realize. Now we realize why they're so important, what protection, what they protect us from, and what protection Allah has out of His mercy offered us in our daily life. And continue on, and inshallah you will be cured. Inshallah, whoever it is, I pray that you all are granted a cure. I pray that you're all granted Jannah, inshallah, for your struggles. Jazakallah khair for listening. If you have anything else you'd like for me to talk on, if you have any comments, if you'd like to volunteer, go to beatsihr.com, and inshallah I'd love to hear from you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.